welcome to Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from Apple Valley and Yucca Valley.
And I'm Yep in the Yucca Valley. I'm Scott.
And I'm Steve. Thank you for joining us. Scott is still on location, helping out his mom, which is very nice. Good boy. Good boy.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So, moving ever closer towards World War III, you'll never guess who suggested China invade Russia to reclaim lands under the Qing dynasty, Qing dynasty. The president of Taiwan has called on China to reclaim some of the lands annexed by Russia in the 19th century. This includes parts of the Khabarovsk Krai and the Amur region in the Far East. Quote, Russia is very weakened now, right? Said Lai Ching-te. Taiwan is considered a potential. Lai Ching-te is the president of Taiwan. Taiwan is considered a potential flashpoint for the next global conflict. China demands that the island returns to its borders, to the Chinese borders, a proposition the current authorities in Taipei reject.
Okay, so I got a question to what you just said. So we know that in normal situations, if Taiwan were to be attacked aggressively by China or anybody, we would probably come to their rescue of some kind, right?
Yeah.
So if China attacks Russia, who's going to come to their rescue?
North Korea? Doubtful. Nobody's going to.
Who's
Iran?
Doubtful. North Korea without China is probably a ghetto more than what they are now. So, right? So they're not going to mess with that. So, who would do that? I mean, who's got an army out there that could go up against China?
Ukraine's not going to help them. Ukraine would probably invade more land.
And then depending on, let's just put, this is a scenario here, but let's say Bernie Sanders was the president. Do you think maybe we would step in and help Russia?
No, that's where Democrats are appeasement. No, Democrats are for appeasement. Democrats might buy more oil to give them more revenue. They wouldn't ship them weapons or anything like that.
Yeah. So, all right. So in this alternate prospect also, is this alternate prospect also irresistible? Lai Ching-te stated that if Chinese authorities seek to incorporate Taiwan purely for territorial reasons, they should first address the issue of Chinese lands annexed by Russia in the 19th century.
Okay, let's point out the slide that everybody sees. Modern China looks like a chicken, for lack of better words. It looks like a chicken. The old China from the 1800s is the red that you see. Those are the borders, the outside borders from the 1800s.
Wow. So, so that's a lot of territory.
A lot of land.
That is a lot.
And that island there too. That island was off to the right. That was Japan was claiming that island too. So it's owned by Russia right now, but claimed by China, Japan, and Russia.
So you think that if China took over that land, even part of that red, even the red above them, right? That would they'd be able to spread out their billions of population, so they're not on top of each other.
Well, it's like Manchuria, it's like high desert, tundra. But I suppose they could find water, and drill for water, and the thing would flourish. I was going to say
or even a section of the land to the left. I mean, they don't have to be greedy. They don't have to take it all.
Just little parts of land and to the south. Yeah.
Almost like the British Empire there. They got land all over the place. China
would be justified. We're going to find out later why China would be justified in this. So continue on, Scott.
Okay. So let's see, where did I leave off here? So here's the quote. Regarding territorial integrity, why doesn't China reclaim the lands occupied by Russia that were ceded in the Treaty of Aigun? Russia is weaker now, right? I mean, we've seen that if you're paying attention to the Ukraine war. The Treaty of Aigun was signed during the Qing dynasty. You can ask the Russians to return the land, but you don't. So it's clear that China does not wish to invade Taiwan for territorial reasons, obviously, said Lai Ching-te.
Yeah, that's obvious. So, they want Taiwan for the semiconductors.
Well, and their manpower, right? They've got a productive population. Those people aren't afraid to work. They work. They produce stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So a
yeah.
little bit about the Treaty of Aigun. The Treaty of Aigun was an 1858 treaty between the Russian Empire and Yi Shan, an official of the Qing dynasty of China. So it wasn't even the Chinese emperor. It was an underling in the court that did this. So this could be a possible in to say, hey, wait a second, let's go back to the Treaty of 16 whatever. We'll see later, where those lands, where they had those lands. So it's weird. The emperor didn't do this. I don't know if he authorized it, but China could say that. It
Well,
established.
if he didn't authorize it, are we sure that this guy didn't, lose some of his body parts because of this deal? I don't know.
Possibly, yeah. It established much of the modern border between the Russian Far East and China by ceding much of Manchuria, the ancestral homeland of the Manchu people, now known as Northeast China. Negotiations began after China was threatened with war on a second front by Governor General of the Far East Nikolai Maryuviev when China was suppressing the Taiping Rebellion. So this Russian general saw an opening because they were distracted with the Taiping Rebellion. So he moved in to grab the land, right? And I guess this underling brokered and said, okay, only go this far. Right?
Interesting.
It reversed
Okay.
the treaty. It reversed the Treaty of Nerchinsk in 1689 by transferring the land between the Stanovoy Range and the Amur River from the Qing dynasty to the Russian Empire. Really, really interesting.
That's a lot of land.
A lot of land.
And there's a lot of stuff on there too, I'm sure. It's not just dirt. There's probably maybe some, precious metals.
Oh yeah,
oil.
it's mountainous. It's
Yeah.
mountainous and high tundra. Yeah.
Yeah. So Russia received over 231,660 square miles of what became known as Outer Manchuria.
Wow.
Again, a lot of land.
Yeah.
No wonder Russia sold us Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while the Qing government essentially refused to recognize the validity of the treaty, the Russian gains under the Treaty of Aigun was affirmed as part of the 1860 Sino-Russian Convention of Peking. Does this mean Russia intends to invade Alaska?
I don't know.
I don't know.
If they invaded Ukraine, why not take back Alaska?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, invading Ukraine is one thing, and like you've said, that they're some scrappy fighters, but I just don't think that they've shown enough might in their military to want to even mess with us.
Yeah,
except
definitely.
China, like we were talking about, coming to somebody's aid. China, I'm sure would, but maybe not. Maybe Xing would say, "You're on your own, Vlad. You're sorry, you messed with the wrong horse on that one." So
Beijing wants to bring Taiwan into its fold to change the world order. That's the truth. Taiwan is not just Chinese territory. Its strategic location and advanced semiconductor industry make it economically and strategically significant. In 2015, the Chinese renamed the city Heihe back to Aigun, reminding people of Moscow's conquest from the Tsarist times. This triggered a reaction among Chinese nationalists who began to hope quietly that Beijing would make territorial demands against Russia. Currently, however, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping are on the same side as both countries compete directly or indirectly with the United States. It remains to be seen whether Moscow, increasingly dependent on Beijing, will eventually turn against its current ally. Totally fascinating.
yeah,
this
so
under the radar article,
Yeah, would the tables turn that? Is Russia more dependent on China than China is on Russia, you think? China's getting their oil from Russia, right? Most of their oil, and Iran.
Well, China produces oil. But it could buy Iranian oil too.
Yeah.
Or Venezuelan oil. Yeah.
I don't know. These are like the guys in the movies, that when your enemies are ganging up on another guy, and then all of a sudden they make a deal with the other guy, and the enemy is now your enemy instead of your friend. So I don't know.
Yeah.
This is some
winds
pretty
of war shift,
Yeah, this is a crazy scenario. So
it is, but it also could be realistic, if they're invading Ukraine, why not take back the lands that were initially disputed? You know,
Maybe that's next.
maybe.
Maybe. So I don't know.
All
Interesting.
right, folks. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we'll be back in the backyard tomorrow. So thanks
All
again.
right.
Have
See
a
ya.
good one. Take care.